Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to this episode on Laid Back, the Atero Zinga podcast. And today we'll be talking about real and fake.
Real and fake.
Yeah, so with me here is Steph. Hello, Steph.
Hi, Steph. Oh, me. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
You are Steph, so
yes. Hello, Renze.
Yeah.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having me on your famous Laid Back.
Famous.
Yeah, I mean, like,
famous is not the word.
Well, what's the word then?
Just entertaining now, so I wouldn't use the word famous.
How about entertaining?
Okay, maybe
it's
entertaining. Yeah, to be fair.
I've listened to a few.
Okay.
So I did because I was like, I need to.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah, so I do. I like it. So
yeah,
it's an honor to be here.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you. And Steph here is a scientist, an entrepreneur. So what else am I supposed to call you now? She does everything.
Steph is Steph. So for the guys listening that don't know me, my name is Stefany Jay.
Yeah.
And when people say like, oh, who are you? Like
exactly.
Stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, I'm just Stefany Jay. That's the brand, is it?
But there must be something they can actually hold on to. So yeah.
I'm just how right. So this is a difficult exercise to find like a short way to describe myself.
Yeah.
So let's if I combine everything that I do, I'm just gonna say that I make things happen.
Okay.
Because when it comes down to it, like if I look at every single thing that I do or everything that I'm involved in, it just boils down to making stuff happen.
Okay, so if you were to choose between if someone asks you now, what do you think is your passion, and gives you three options and says, okay, do you know what? You have science, you have entrepreneurship, and you have maybe like academia, kind of. Which one would you choose?
All of them.
No, you have to choose one. You don't have to choose three.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. All of them. I make it happen.
I know, but forget about making it happen now. You have to choose one. It can't be universal. Just choose one out of three.
I choose being an entrepreneur because if I'm an entrepreneur, then I can make a business out of all three.
Really?
Yes. So, which is actually it's funny that you asked me this because this is the point of my life that I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I'm currently doing a PhD.
Yeah.
In science, completely unrelated to what my business does.
Yeah.
So that also says that I'm an entrepreneur in itself, and then my business in itself is a creative business.
Yeah.
So I'm mixing three worlds together.
Yeah.
Eventually, at some point, I was asked to pick. Oh yeah, you gotta focus your energy on one, which I understand. But I'm focusing my energy on making creative visions come alive. That could be through science, through business, through arts in itself. But if there's a creative vision, I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah,
Well, using any kind of because the thing is we often, I think anyway, this is a conversation I had with a lot of people recently. I feel like we get kids, especially right from high school or like junior school, we get kids to think in a box.
True, I agree.
By making them say, "Oh yeah, you're either doing science or you're doing this."
Yeah.
But you can
do whatever
you want. And yes, I understand that it's important to focus your energy somewhere, but you can help that kid identify the thing that he or she really wants to do, which may involve aspects of certain different things.
Yeah.
But once you identify, right, okay, the thing I want to do is I want to do this, but I can do this with science. Sometimes I can do it with art. I think it's a lot more effective. But I just feel like the world hasn't.
No, like I belong to the same school of thought, and this is a question. Like now that you just mentioned that, now I'm thinking. There's this thing I read in. There's this book I read about a few years ago by Robert Greene, Mastery. Yeah.
The Art of Mastery.
And the thing is, I have a thing for Robert Greene. I think anybody that knows me knows this. I have a thing for Robert Greene.
So you've read all of them?
Most of them actually. But there's this thing he said in Mastery, and I used to say that, but I didn't know it was a thing until I read it in his book. He says something about science, that science is not about you just cramming information or memorizing information. It's rubbish. It's all about you being creative. The scientific mind is creative. if you think about it, whether you're doing an experiment, you have to be creative about it. Say, okay, this thing works. Can I remove this? Add this. You have been creative.
Plus, there's problems that are bound to happen, and when they happen,
exactly. How do you troubleshoot? How do you do this? How do you do that?
You have to be like there's a certain science to art, and there's a certain art to science.
Exactly. So that's the point I'm trying to make now. So do you think that your scientific mind, since you've been in science like all your life, do you think the science actually helped you to create, helps your creativity because you already have it naturally?
Absolutely.
Do you think it actually helps your creativity to actually go into entrepreneurship as well? Do you think it played
absolutely. So I think so I started off while I was in undergrad as a photographer. I was just taking pictures from a church at the time. Some guy in church, some photographer guy in church was mentoring me. And I've always been, because my uncle was a photographer, and when I was younger, I liked taking pictures. I used to always ask them to buy me like toy cameras, and I thought it was fascinating to be able to use something to take a photo of a moment, and it would stay for years and probably even centuries. So when I started taking photos, one thing I noticed about my photos were I used to pay a lot of attention to detail. Like, I'm gonna have to figure out the exact angle to get this shot like this. And I found that I think that's because of my science background. Because as you know, especially with like certain complicated experiments, you can't get proportions wrong. You have to get it like
you have to be
and
exact.
You have to pay a lot of attention to detail for the whole experimental setup. True. Or that can mean weeks or months lost.
So not months actually.
So I find that these skills started, crossing over into the different aspects of my life. So as well, like when I'm dealing with like my experiments, and I'm like, right, I know this is how this paper and this paper and this paper have done it, but I think it would be a lot different if you do it this way. Why don't we do it this way and do it that way? And it's been, I think, doing a PhD and running a creative firm has been one of the biggest pushes in my life. Like it's a lot. Being a PhD in itself is a lot. Then add to it, running a company. But I think that I've experienced the most growth in this phase of my life, and I found myself developing skills from each of these fields and having them cross over and using that to my advantage for those independent fields as well. So again, there's a science to art and there's an art to science, and we need to stop feeling like we have to always pick when we can just have it all. I actually agree, because like I said, I feel science, like doing the PhD actually lets you know, even if you thought like you weren't creative, whilst doing the PhD, except the person did not pick up anything from the process, you realize that you're actually very creative. Of course.
Because it's part of the job, like you have to be creative and you make mistakes and you try as much as possible to improvise and find ways to make your experiments work.
Of course.
Then I did this thing, I don't know if you guys were asked to do, like I did like a short course in science communication.
Okay.
So we talked about science and art, like linking up together, talking about science to make it like more presentable to the public, talking to them about science in museums, galleries, and the rest of them. And I made that argument then, and I still agree, like, because if you, for example, let's say you don't know anything about science, and I'm trying to tell you something about science, and I start using jargons, there's no way you understand what I'm saying. It makes no sense.
But if you put it in pictures.
Yeah, if you put it in pictures, like, you see what I mean?
If you put it in graphs in different colors.
Exactly.
All that is art.
Yeah, even if they don't understand the graphs, even if you put it in pictures, you can actually also use pictures or tell a good story. Because it's still art, storytelling is still art, kind of.
Yeah, like, storytelling is art.
Yeah, so tell a good story, and you realize you actually get more people to actually listen to you than when we just go to conferences and you have people just spin out jargon. Sometimes you won't even understand what the person is saying. It makes no sense.
Yeah, and I think it's what makes, because a lot of scientists, a lot of researchers rather, go on into academia.
Yeah.
And I think it's what makes great academic facilitators.
Yeah.
And it separates them from just alright basic academic facilitators.
Yeah.
So I think having all those different experiences sort of really craft your teaching style.
Yeah.
And you find that when you're able to tell a story with the subject in such a way that the students can take it, and break it up in a way that makes sense to them, not just scientifically, but even they can apply it back to like complex situations in life. It really does help. And I personally, while I was in school, I had okay teachers. I had teachers that I would never turn up to lectures because I'm like, I'm not gonna understand what you're saying anyway.
Back in Nigeria or here?
Here.
Okay.
Here, like I had certain modules that I didn't go to the lectures because I knew I was wasting my time. Because I never, number one, I can't even hear what you're saying. Number two, you're just mumbling through your slides, like you're repeating the same damn things in the slides, and I'm like I can't.
Okay. What was the problem? Do you think they didn't add a lot of enthusiasm or creativity?
There wasn't enough creativity. Just telling the story of what they were trying to teach me.
Okay.
But you see, I had this great teacher. Her name was I don't think I should get her name.
That's fine.
But she taught clinical biochemistry at the time. Right? She's still at UE. She was very scary. Like a lot of people were scared of her because when you come into her lectures, she's gonna ask you for your name. So she had a list of everyone's name, and then we just thought the first time we thought it was for attendance, right? So we put our names, our actual names, because no one was thinking to lie, right? And then she's gone halfway through the lecture. She's actually described some key concepts, and she's like, "You will get it," and we're like, "Yeah." And then she goes, picks up the list, and she calls a random name. She's like, "Right, tell me what I just said. Explain it back to me." And everyone was like, "What?" Because when you go to uni, you're distracted. You have your phone, you're texting.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "What just happened?" And but the thing was, because I thought at that point she was gonna make mockery of him. But at that point she was then throwing him cues like clues to help him out. Yeah. And then he was picking it up and he was like, "Okay, who wants to add to that to help him out?" And she got the whole class involved in pretty much repeating the summary of the lecture for the last 30 minutes she just gave. Yeah. And I was like, this is fantastic. Yeah. This is my best module. It was absolutely fantastic. It left such an impact that, 3 years later, I'm still sat here, and I'm telling the story. Yeah. She was very creative with how she gave, that information back to us. And it was complex stuff. You did, clinical biochemistry. But it seemed so easy when she broke it down and got everyone involved in, like, if she asked someone and they couldn't finish it, she's not gonna make you feel bad. She's just gonna be like, "Okay, you just hold on there," and then she'll get like 2 or 3 people to help you out, and then have you finish it because then she feels like they've judged him out. It was fantastic.
At least it helps the students actually the student won't feel bad and feel like, okay, do you know what, this person not trying to put me on the spot here.
She's just trying to make sure that I understand. And it was she's absolutely fantastic. So I think she's a very creative person as well. Knowing her outside of like just the uni settings, she's involved with a lot of stuff, and some of them are art stuff, and I'm like, that makes sense because you're not just in one box.
Just reading and reading.
Just reading papers and being a lot of people say scientists are boring, and the typical scientist is boring, but
what is a typical scientist?
The typical scientist doesn't add any creativity.
No, but think about it. But these days, this is 2021 now. What is this 21st century world is a typical scientist? Most people actually met a lot of things.
Yeah, because we don't have typical scientists anymore.
Exactly.
Our typical scientist was like Benjamin, who Isaac Newton. Yeah. But Einstein. But Einstein wasn't a typical scientist. He was a creative guy.
But to be fair, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't think you have people like that anymore anyway.
Which is good. Yeah, which is why you have people like me now who can decide to say, right, I'm going to do a PhD, but I'm also going to run a company, an arts company.
Exactly.
Because we're evolving as a
because think about it now. If you actually go back now to actually lecture anybody,
I'm not going to do that. No.
But if you actually go back and say, you know what, okay, let me, even if you don't want to do it full time and say like, you are a visiting lecturer, the way you are going to deliver the lecture is going to differ from what somebody who's just focused on academia is going to deliver the lecture. Yeah. Because you have so many experiences, you can bring experience from maybe like the arts industry or whatever, and link them all together to actually explain science.
I agree, and again, it might sound like very grand ideas in terms of how you're able to send that information across creatively, but sometimes it's just some simple things like the color that you choose for your slides. Yeah, it's down to the font that you're using. Yeah, sometimes I'm just like, if I look at a slide and it's just aesthetically pleasing, I just want to read what's on it. Yeah, but if your slide is black and white, oh god. Yeah, no. Arial 10, Arial 16. Yeah. Black.
But there was this thing they used to tell us back then, like, for example, if you want to make a poster, like if it is colorful and attractive, it will attract people to come and actually see it, and then they can read it. But and I believe that. But I think we're deviating from what we want to talk about.
Yeah. So let's focus.
So let's focus on real and fake now. What we want to talk about. I talk about real and fake.
Okay.
So when we talk about being real and being fake, what do you think? What does that actually mean to you?
In what context, though?
Exactly, like
because
in everything.
It applies to a lot, and I think it's a little different in different contexts.
Yeah, but
are you just saying like what's the standard real and standard fake?
Yeah. So, but like for example, I have a friend who actually told me recently, and we're having I think I mentioned this before. That we're having a conversation. The person told me, "Why are you real in a fake world?" So
that's deep.
Yeah. Why are you real in a fake world? So, what do you think? Do you think being real is useless? Do you think it's useful, or do you think it's actually better for us to actually like wear masks in the social scene and just do whatever?
I think first of all, if we go back to your first question, which was what is real and what is fake.
Yeah.
I feel like something real is something that's authentic and it's present and it's physical and you can see it. It's not. Oh, I heard they said it's here right in front of you and you see it. And something that's fake is in the air. It's in the air.
But how can you tell when someone is fake?
How can you tell? I think there's different ways to look at it. Number one.
Okay.
I think also you as a person need to understand what your definition for real and fake is.
Yeah. Because
some people might call you fake because according to them, their definition of real is not being met by you're not meeting the standards of the definition of being real. Yeah. Because everyone has different definitions of real and fake, and again, it's a perspective thing, right? I think going back to the comment that you made in terms of why you real in a fake world, the world truly is fake. That's
the realness there, because
that's the realness there. Yeah. The world is fake because 80% of the stuff that people are being told are not true. You know, there's a facade to how the world is. First of all, a lot of the things in the world that actually matter,
they don't matter.
They don't. I mean, not like they don't matter. In the grand scheme of things, yeah, they don't matter. Yeah. And a huge chunk of these things are being controlled by a very tiny percentage of the world population. Yeah. And they're controlling it according to their perspective on how they think certain things should be and certain things should be. Yeah. Right? I give an example. I was talking to someone recently about how black people can never advance forward in terms of, the racial issues that we face, the discrimination and, all of that. Yeah. I said, this isn't going to end until one thing happens. Like, the protests are great and we can still do a lot more protests and all that. I mean,
but I don't think it's going
if you remember when Martin Luther King was alive, he was protesting. Years later,
in the 60s, how many? That's like 50 years now.
We're in 2020. Yeah, almost in 2022, we're still protesting. Yeah, stuff has changed.
60 years old.
So stuff has changed, but has it really changed, or have they found different ways to do old things? Yeah. But here's my thing: is if we as black people, don't even understand what is real. The first thing being that whether you were born in America, you're Black American, or you were born in the UK, you're Black British, or you were born in Africa and you're like African Black, you're all one black.
It's simple.
It's not. There's no different. Yeah.
There's no African American.
Yeah. You're plain and simple black. Yeah. And that is real. You see, but to some people that makes no sense because it's like when I first came to this country, for instance, being Nigerian, I got here and at uni I was a part of different societies, and I found that there's the NSN society, which is the Nigerian society, and there was the ACS society, which is the Afro-Caribbean society. Yeah. I'm like, isn't Nigerian African? Why isn't there just one? Yeah. And if you notice, in a lot of universities, there's
always disparity between the two.
And that's fine. That's all right. I have no problem with that. Yeah. But what I found was a lot of the people in the ACS felt like they had some sort of superiorness, and for lack of a better word, they felt a bit more superior to people that were actually like NSN.
So that means because if you say that means, because I know people in ACS are mostly people who are actually born and raised there. Then people in NSN are actually people who came from Nigeria.
So you have two Nigerians, right? The only difference is one has lived in Nigeria all his life,
and the other one
has lived in the UK. Yeah. But the one in the UK automatically feels like,
I'm better than this person.
I'm better than you. And I'm like, are you mad? Because let me tell you, when the white person is looking, all they see is one color. All they see is one.
It doesn't change.
It doesn't change in their eyes. So why should it change in ours? And we ourselves don't even know what is real.
But okay. Now that we're saying it, when it comes to the race thing, I'm not saying I support any type of it, but being real right here, I've come to...
No pun intended.
Yeah, no, but being real right here, I've come to understand human beings, we like power, influence, and hierarchy. Mm-hmm. Right, these three things, and they're all linked to power anyway. Mm-hmm. And
importance.
It's linked to power, not just about that power, like power. We all want power without actually knowing. Mm-hmm. It could be we are trying as much as possible to manipulate. Maybe a girl is trying to manipulate a guy to do her bidding, or this guy is trying to manipulate his friend to be to alpha male, whatever. There's always power play going on. Mm-hmm. Subtle power play that maybe they don't see it, but it's there. Mm-hmm. The point I'm trying to make is, to them now, they don't want to see that fact that maybe they are complaining that maybe like the whites are actually looking down on them and not giving them the opportunities. Right, they're actually doing the same thing to the Nigerians who just arrived. Mm-hmm. That's you being real with yourself to know that you're actually doing the same thing now.
Yeah.
But I don't think.
But the thing is, they don't even know.
Exactly.
What's real, is what I'm saying. Like they don't know. To them, it's like.
Nah, I can't vibe with this guy.
Yeah, it's like it's not. You know. I mean, you're. And do you know something I hear a lot is when a lot of black people in born and raised in the UK or in the US want to refer to Africans that have lived there, they say, "Oh, but you're African." I'm like, "So are you?" Like,
what's the difference?
No, but they refer to them as African. I'm like, "But you are African too." So, but yeah, I think that a lot of people don't even know what's real anymore in the world.
No, but
right?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, how can you actually define what's real and what's fake? Because for example, if I am fake to this person, maybe whatever maybe the person is doing, I don't really like it. But if I can fake as much as I can to tell the person, act so enthusiastic, mm-hmm. act so excited, mm-hmm. right deep down, once the person steps out, I'll be like, fuck this person.
Do you know what I find?
Do you think?
Do you know what I find?
Yeah.
I find that each of them are associated with a different kind of emotion.
What kind of emotion then?
With being real, there's peace. You have peace of mind. Because you know that on your own end,
you're just being yourself.
You're just being yourself.
Yeah.
But with being fake, there's a lot of emotions.
Like what?
In terms of one, there's anxiety.
Really?
Yes. Okay, let me paint a picture, right? So let's say on social media you've got 1 million followers, right? On social media, everyone sees you as a king, you know? You drive a Benz, you know, G-Wags, you've got a nice house, you've got the greatest girlfriend, all of that, right? But in real life, there's foreclosure coming on your property. You haven't paid your car bills in like, you know, months.
Yeah, everybody's chasing you around.
And yeah, so when you go out in public, right, and then people want to get to meet the real, like you on a one-to-one off social media, don't you feel anxious? Wouldn't you feel anxious? Like, oh shit.
Oh, you have a point now.
Yeah. You can't have peace. It doesn't make sense.
Because both of them don't tally.
They don't tally. Yeah, because what you're showing online is completely different from what's offline. So of course you're gonna be anxious because you're like, what if someone's gonna find out this? What if I'm gonna slip up here? What if I'm gonna slip up there?
Really?
Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how I look at it. Like anything that's real comes with a lot of peace of mind.
True.
Anything that's fake, it's even down to as simple as buying original brands.
Yeah.
So say for instance, you're wearing a Balenciaga, right? You're wearing a Balenciaga jacket. You buy the real thing, you know it's real. You ain't gotta worry about nothing. You flex it. You buy the fake thing. When you're around people who are like, say, rich and lit and know like good stuff, you're a bit anxious. You're like, someone gonna find out that my clothes is fake. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's a lot of anxiety that comes with being fake.
You have a point there.
I don't understand how people can, and some people are skilled with, masking that anxiety and, being able to keep up with all of that. But eventually it crashes. It crashes. At some point,
of course, because I don't think you can keep lying to yourself for long.
No, you can't. You can lie to everyone, but you can never lie to yourself.
Yeah.
You can tell yourself something so much that you start to believe it, but sometimes you would remember that, it's only just a facade.
Oh, wow.
And I think that's a very great way to differentiate, like, being real, or what is real, and what is fake. Yeah. In some contexts, like it might not apply to a lot of contexts, but I think for the most part.
But you have a good point, because at the end of the day, if you can't actually go out there and be yourself, and you're not scared of what the other person is gonna think of you or whatever. But you're right, like that's actually a good way to think about it, because if you are fake, you end up trying as much as possible to prove to the person that you are this, you are that.
You're practically living your life for other people, but yourself.
But
so you're not having that sense of fulfillment. You're not having that sense of self-empowerment. Yeah. Because here's the thing, if you go into a room and you're uncomfortable in that room, and you say your mind, you say what it is. After you said that, you're gonna be fine. Because you'll be like, right, I've given you a piece of my mind, this is how I feel, and this is it. I'm here, everybody knows how I feel about this.
Yeah.
But you go into a room and you're uncomfortable and you can't. It's like living 10 different lives. You're gonna get exhausted at some point.
But don't you think sometimes saying your mind and being real with people can actually alienate you from other people? And don't you think some people prefer people who actually lie to them and be fake and just?
So I think I think generally people don't prefer people that lie to them. I just think that a lot of people who are real think that they should be real in a way that's rude, or a way that's too blunt. There's a saying, it's not what you said, it's how you said it.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, people would often appreciate the people that are real with them.
Yeah.
Now, I think most times it just depends on how you communicate to them.
Yeah.
There's a thing about human beings and picking up on a lot of body language, body signals and stuff Sometimes it might not even be the words.
Yeah.
The words it's different. It's different if I say, you're not such a great guy, and I laugh. You think it's a joke, and then I'm like, you're not such a great guy, and you're like, why? But I'm a great guy. It's different. It's different tones. It's different body language. Signals that I'm giving.
It depends on how you say.
Yeah, I personally believe that if you're gonna be real, especially with people, you don't have to be. Some people say they're just blunt. There's a very thin line between being blunt and being rude.
Yeah.
Plain rude. I don't think it's acceptable to be rude to anyone. If you're gonna be real with someone, especially someone that you care about, you want to find a way to get that information across in a way that they don't feel judged. A lot of people, nobody wants to feel like
you're judging them.
Yeah. And once your realness starts to come across as you think that you're better, or it starts to feel a bit condescending, automatically to them it's not gonna make sense, and to them that's not real. To them that's fake. You're a fake guy because you say that you like me, but then you're judging me. So what they're seeing, what they're necessarily saying is fake. Isn't the words that you're saying?
Yeah, they'll get defensive.
Yeah, they get very defensive, and so I think it's just about understanding. Yeah. Really, understanding really helps in a lot of things. Understanding,
but it depends on the growth the person has made as well. Because, for example, if someone comes to me and tells me stuff, I prefer people to actually tell me things to my face. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I don't know about it, but I'll respect you because I feel like that's hard for a lot of people to do. I feel like you're bold enough to actually come and tell me whatever you have to my face. If we're in the words of my friend, if we're gonna fight, let's fight. Yeah. But it's better for me to actually know, you've told me whatever you have to say, to my face. We don't have,
but that's because you have a set of experiences that have made you that way. So maybe you've been in the past, you've had to deal with a lot, and you've built a thick skin to probably just words. There's some people who are very sensitive, and if you're gonna tell them something,
but to be fair, we are all sensitive.
Yeah, everyone's sensitive.
Everybody's sensitive.
Some people more than others.
Yeah, all of us, we are all sensitive one way or the other. it's just that some people know how to mask it and some don't know how to mask it. That's fine. But what I'm trying to say here is if, for example, let's say I know friends who come and tell me stuff, and the first thing I say, like, there's a way the person will start sounding. Mm-hmm. The first thing I tell the person, man, don't be a hater. I think you're sounding out like a hater. Like, maybe the person is trying to explain, complain about something, and now the person is saying stupid shit about the other person. Mm-hmm. The first time there's going to come out of my mouth now. I don't think you're complaining about the thing anymore. I think you're not being a hater. Like, there's a difference between you just disparaging the person's character and you just focusing on what the person did. I think you're now just being a hater. And most of the time, people don't like that. Most
of the time, people don't even know the lines. Because there's a very thin line. Yeah. The thing is, you sit here and you have a set of experiences and you have some sort of exposure, and like you just said, you read a lot of I can tell that you read a lot of books, because you just said to me that you've read a lot of most of Robert
Greene stuff.
Greene stuff. So you're reading and you're learning and you're unlearning. Some people aren't doing that. So for some people, the standards are different. And that's something you gotta understand, that not everyone is gonna be as exposed.
No, I get that. I get that. But is you saying like they are lying, but they don't know they're lying? How does that make sense?
No, I mean they don't know the lines, like how thin the line.
Okay, the lines. I thought you said that they are liars. Okay,
I meant, like, they don't know how thin the line is. Sometimes you find that people complain about, let's say you're having a conversation with a friend, and every time they come to complain to you about something that friend has done, they often cross that line between the thing and then go to complain about the person. If you check it most times, they have a problem with the person.
Yeah.
But people don't even understand this. Like, a lot of people don't understand this.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I'm, like, for someone like me, I know a lot of people, like an awful lot of people. Because over the course of my life, I've met a lot of people.
Yeah, that's
and me, I'm a vibe. So I vibe with a lot of people, you know. But I have very, 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 very few friends. So people that you can actually ask something about my life and they can give you an accurate description of what's going on in my life. There's very few people. Like, there's very, very few people.
But it should be that way.
But a lot of people just think, and the reason I do that is because I'm very focused on, right, this friendship thing that we have, right? What's the structure like? Again, I can be very systematic with a lot of the things that I do sometimes. I don't know why. But what's the friendship like, right?
Yeah.
Is this a friendship for, like, vibes? Like, if I just want to have a vibe, are you the friend to call? Or are you the friend to call for advice? Or are you the friend that I call at 2 a.m. when I need, like, there's a certain structure that I have with a lot of my friends. And I understand that structure. So if I have a problem with one of my friends, it's easy for me to be like, right, sit down, let's have this conversation. And I'm like, I have a problem with this thing about you.
Yeah.
Because if I don't talk about that thing, then you're gonna do some things that would then start to piss me off. But when I actually think about it, the things aren't what's pissing me off. It's the fact that thing about you that I don't like has played a role to then get us to the point where you're doing this thing. So it's that thing I don't like, not necessarily this, but most times people don't want to have a conversation. People don't like having difficult conversations.
But we say this before, and that still links to, like, being real and being fake, because I feel like, just like you said, you know your friends, and I think I can say the same thing. Over the course of my life, I know a lot of people, but if you ask a lot of people about me now, they will tell you they don't know shit about me. I get that, but I feel like when you want to define and say real and fake friendship, like in the context of what we're talking about, I think a real friend is someone you can actually be yourself around. You don't have to put up a wall or start lying about anything. I feel like a fake friend is somebody you don't really trust the person in detail. In, like, you feel like I'm not so sure what this person can actually do to me, so let's just keep that vibe. Let's just have fun with the person, but trying as much as possible to be cautious a little bit. But a real friend, just like you said, there must be friends you know that, like, okay, you know what? If I want to be vulnerable and cry, I know this person is not going to judge me. I can actually be myself around this person.
But I can flip it as well, because sometimes a lot of people, especially with the way a lot of people are and the world is, and how the world is a fake world. Don't forget that while this world is a fake world, we're living in it, and so people are having to adapt. So you find that a lot of people can't even be themselves around their real friends because they know that is the friend that will call them out on their bullshit.
Oh, okay. Now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they can be themselves with their fake friends because they know that they're all, we're all the same.
Because they're all fake.
So say for instance, you're a real friend, and you have a fake friend. That's that kind of dynamic. Your fake friend can be real, can be herself or himself around you.
But it's the same thing, because that means you may be a real friend to the person, but the person is a fake friend to you, because the person can be himself or herself around you.
Yeah. And then again, I guess it goes across like a bunch of different things, and like again back to context.
Yeah.
So, what in terms of friendship, what is a real friend? Because sometimes you have people that have great friendships, right? Mm-hmm. When it comes to the friendship aspects of it, they're real with each other. But when it comes to like, say, there's certain aspects or certain things that might be, someone can say, oh, it's fake. So I give it an
like what? Yeah.
So this is a painted scenario. Yeah. It's not real. So say Funke is friends with Tolani. Yeah. Right? Now Tolani is a great friend to Funke, and Funke is a great friend to Tolani, and they're both like real with each other. They know all of that, and they know all of that, right? Now Tolani is friends with Kemi. Now, do you know that Tolani and Funke's friendship can be very real, but that same Tolani that is real with Funke will not to be fake with Kemi?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but this is the same thing we are trying to say here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tolani is real with what the first name you mentioned?
So Tolani is real with Funke. Funke is real with Tolani.
But Tolani is not.
Tolani is not real with, and that's because again, it's different context.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we meet a lot of people, and the mistake we always make is we think that everybody's your friend.
Very true.
I think it's something everybody has to define. Like, everybody's not your friend.
And what are the standards for your friendship?
Yeah, like there's this meme. The thing is, we don't know how to spell acquaintance. That's a lot of that's why a lot of people don't want to agree that some people are just acquaintances.
Yeah, but and that's fine though.
No, but it's what it is. For example, if I'm talking to anybody and I can't pinpoint this is what I can actually say about you, I don't really think we're friends.
Yeah.
Like, there's no malice or anything, like, but I don't think I can actually I like people who are like, the thing is, not to brag, but sometimes I feel like I'm a woman detective. Like, there's a way you talk about things. Mm-hmm. I know I can't trust you for shit. Like, no matter what you do, I know I can't trust you.
Okay.
And there's something I used to, like, once I talk to somebody, like, you have this vibe of jealousy, envy. Even if you know about me, but there's a certain way you talk about other people and things they have.
You can tell, yeah.
You're already telling me you are fucking jealous and envious. Yeah. I can't trust you for shit, because if things are going for me, I can't trust you. Mm-hmm. That means you find a way, no matter what it is, even if it's not by thwarting my plans, you might say it verbally to actually pull me down, one way or the other. So I can't actually say I can't actually trust whatever you tell me. Mm-hmm. That's my point. But there are people you meet, I have friends, people I went to secondary school with. That's the funny thing. Secondary school with, who I will tell stuff about something going on in my life, and they'll tell me, Arenze, you dey fuck up. Like, straight up.
Yeah.
Those are your friends. Like, they are not scared to ruffle your feathers and say, like, maybe you're going to get up. They don't care. Mm-hmm. You dey fuck up means you dey fuck up. Mm-hmm. But there are certain people you still meet, you can't actually tell them that.
I mean, I can tell anybody anything.
No, I can, but not everybody can actually still take it.
Yeah,
some people, the next thing they will do is try as much as possible to cut you off. They feel like, why should you tell them that?
So you know, for me, I've built my relationship with a lot of people, or with people generally, in a way that if you know me, like, you don't even need to be my friend, but if you just know me, you know that if you mess up, I will tell you there and there.
Say the fuck up.
And whether you like it or not, I'm not going to be rude, I'm not going to be condescending, but I'm going to let you know that shit that you done, it doesn't make sense. Especially if you've done it to me. I'm not one of those friends who would I'll be pissed about it and then go and tell someone else. Like, before I tell anyone, I tell you.
You don't have
I
that
tell you
vibe,
first.
Yeah.
So that by the time I'm telling someone else, it's simply because I'm venting about how pissed I am about this thing that you've done that you know about.
I agree.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I've built my life around that, and my friends know that. I mean, strangers know this. Like, people that I just meet, like, you just have a conversation, you can already tell. So my friends definitely know that. Look, when I'm doing things this way or that way in a way that's not basically standard, she's gonna pull me out. She's gonna have something to say, and they might not like it. And when we have those conversations for like, and I'm blessed with great friends that when some of them are great. When we have conversations, it'll be I've just given you a piece of my mind and I've told you some stuff, and then it's like awkward for like 2 minutes, and then after 2 minutes I'm like, when you shall if I go chop, and we move. That's literally how most of my friendships are.
Okay. Is it because, do you think if you don't do that, like for example, after telling them your mind, being real with them, and then you try to make everything light and funny and again and ask them if they could chop or whatever.
No, but
do you think if you don't do that, do you think they will actually break the ice and actually talk?
No, they will, because the way I tell them, it's not in a way that's like
bad.
That makes them feel like some things you will feel bad, just not because of because I've said it, but because you've even put yourself in a position for me to tell you that you will feel bad. But I'll never be the one telling you stuff like to make you feel bad. Like I'll tell you and I'll even tell you when I'm telling you that, look, I'm not even trying to make you feel some type of way, but this is just how it seems. Like, this is where I'm at, and we're friends, and this is how I'm seeing it. So definitely someone who doesn't even know you would see it like this. Like I'm telling you, like most times when I'm telling my friends stuff, it's not because of me, like it's not for my own benefit. It's because I want to see them. I'm like, I know your capacity is here. So if you're here right now, I'm like, you need to, or whatever the case may be. So, and I personally appreciate that as a person. Like if someone, do you know what? Let me tell you a funny story. So in 2018, 19-ish, early 2019, late 2018, I was working in a company, right? And in Nigeria during my NYSC. And I met so many people, and some of them were great people. Some of them were people that were great, but they were holding back on a lot of things. Like I interacted with a lot of people. So before I left, right? Because me, I'm like, anywhere I go, they must remember me. When I spoke good from bad, but when my name comes up, you must be like, I remember this person, And most times when I do it, it's for good. If you take it for bad, then that's your problem.
That's fine, yeah.
But I wrote a letter to everyone, including the CEO of my company. And in that letter, I told them about how I had been appreciated, being in their space and working with them, and how they've been part of my journey. And then for the most part, I listed like a lot of things that I thought they were really great at, and I thought, you guys don't ever lose this. And then the last paragraph, which is a very short paragraph. Now hear me, the longer paragraphs were stuff that I thought were great about them, stuff that I appreciate about them. And the shorter paragraph, I was like, well, I think, if you do, like, I think that because you're so great at this, I know that you have the capacity to be here, but I feel like sometimes when you could do this, you could do that. So you could do this, you could do that. And I wrote the letter. And the funny thing is, I didn't write it. There was about 30 people in that.
You personalized the letter.
I personalized every single letter, and I gave it. The day I left, I told my HR to give it to everyone the next day. So word came back to me that the next day, everyone had to close work early. They had to close the office early because apparently people were pissed. People were like, this girl. And
who does she think she is?
The typical Nigerian, how old is she? What kind of boy who does she think she is to be telling me this? So a few of my friends from the office called me. And the funny thing is, a lot of them, when we had conversations, I had told them these things before. Like when they would come and complain to me about something that's not going on right in their life. The fact that I know these things because they had told me themselves. Or for some of them that I wasn't as close to, like people that I didn't even write so much about. Maybe someone like the receptionist or so for people like that I didn't write too much detail. I just picked up. But for people that I used to talk to, I went into detail.
Every day.
So some people that I knew from the office, they called me. My manager, he called me, and he was like, when he read it, he was so pissed. He was so upset.
The CEO or the manager?
No, my manager. He was like, he was so pissed. He was very angry. But then he went out to drink. And when he was drinking, he just liberated it again. He said, but where did she lie?
Exactly.
He was telling me that he just asked himself, but where did she lie? That, okay, is there anything here that she has lied about now that is in here that's not true? Yeah. And then he was like, by the time he thought about it that way, he was like, he called me and he was like, thank you. A lot of random people were sending me, like, people who actually understood what I had done. Some people don't do this. Like, people will just see you, like, with your failures and they'll be like, keep failing.
And they'll be so happy that you're failing.
And it's not like I pointed out their failures. I said, oh, I see you're doing this now, but I think if you did this and this, if that could be better. So it wasn't I was plain telling you you're doing this thing wrong. I was like, but the way you're doing this thing is alright.
But we're saying the same thing now. Like, but think about it, yeah. Let's paint another scenario. Let's say you were trying as much as possible to be real because you like people progressing, like to see people actually move up and grow. So imagine you change the scenario and think if you are being fake with them and actually wrote a letter to everybody praising them.
Oh, guys, you're great.
Don't you think they will like you?
Well,
no, but do you see my point?
They probably will, but you see, the thing, the person that I am, I don't give a fuck if you like
me. No, I get it.
I'd rather you respect me, because here's the thing, if I go into that office today, they might not like me.
But they will respect
me.
I get that.
When I say something, they will listen. It with value.
They will listen.
Because they know that the stuff that's coming out of my mouth is no bullshit.
It's real. Yeah.
So I don't give a fuck if you like me. Look, do you know how many people in this world like me? Do you know how many people love me? Damn, you know me now. I'm a vibe. You know already. So like, I have way too many people that like me. I couldn't care less about the people that don't.
No. But see what I'm saying. I'm not saying you should care about people like you or not. But you just answered my question. Like, you know, when you are real with people, initially they will hate you. It's normal.
Some people will. Yeah. No, some people will.
Majority.
Yeah.
It's normal. The truth hurts.
I mean, yeah.
Like, the truth hurts.
Yeah.
Majority. I've been there, so I know what I'm saying. They will hate you. Then afterwards, maybe they won't have thought it through, then they will start coming back again. But they will hate you. Nobody likes the truth. Especially when they know you are actually saying the truth.
Especially when it's the truth.
So they will never, ever, ever accept it. They will try as much as possible to paint you out and say maybe you are a hater or whatever. They will treat you in a certain way.
You don't even know.
I know what I'm saying. Hey. I say you a hater or this or that or that. But the thing is, that's the thing now. It still falls into like being real and fake, because I had this conversation with my friend and you can still link that being fake and real into being likability and respect. A lot of people go for likability.
Yeah, because a lot of people are shallow.
But I get that. A lot of people go for likability. But all my life, I've always gone for respect. I would rather... there's always something I say. I know it's from Scarface. My word is my bond. It's important to me. I don't want to say something at the end of the day. For example, if I tell you I'm going to do something for you, trust me, if you've ever done anything with me, you know this. I'll come through and do it for you. It's when I don't give you my word, that's when you'll be worried. But if I tell you I'm going to do this thing, even if it takes 2 weeks, I'll do it for you. But now, like, thinking about it, then I see people who maybe their friends are actually fucking up. Like, I've been in this situation and I watch people, like, you must have seen this. Their friends are fucking up. They will never tell their friends. They'll be so happy that they're fucking up. But if you are the one that would don't tell the friend, oh, my guy, I think there's something you're doing wrong here and there. That friend will hate you, but they like the other person who's lying to you.
But you know what? I feel like...
have you been in that situation before?
Let me flip it a bit, yeah. I feel like they will not like you publicly, but they like you in here.
No, I get what you're saying, but deep down, but have you been in that situation? Deep down, they know you were actually being real with them. Say, see, my man, like, the girl, like, if you go this way.
No, yeah, I agree with you. But what I'm saying that even they're not liking you is fake, because they actually do like you, but for public display, they say that they don't. Because think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it. Someone tells you something that you've been around a lot of people in your
and no one bothered to tell you.
And no one bothered to tell you. Something that something that would benefit you. You like them. Even if you pretend to not like them, you really do like them. So that you're not liking them in itself is fake.
No, but that's a good point. But the point I'm trying to make...
I get your point. I do get your point.
But the point I'm trying to make here is, I think, I speak to people and I think, if you ask me, I think a lot of people prefer people who just validate their feelings.
Yeah, I agree.
You see what I mean?
And I think there's a cultural thing attached to it.
Yeah, they just prefer
especially, well, I can't say especially, but growing up in somewhere like Nigeria, it's very, how dare you tell an elder? How dare you be real with an elder?
You're right.
Your mate?
You're right.
In fact, what do you even know about this life? Has he not lived longer than you?
But that's rubbish.
Yeah, it's absolute rubbish.
That's rubbish.
It's absolute nonsense.
I think I've mentioned this bit to you before. Like the way I grew up is totally different. Like in my house, I'm not saying my parents were strict in a certain way, but I think that's maybe why I am the way I am. They were strict, but everybody had a voice. Like I don't understand why I go see you. I will be scared to actually say what I have to say. Not necessarily I'm saying it to piss you off, but if I don't like this thing, why should I be holding it back when I don't like it? I don't understand. And that's the way I was raised, in such a way that you should be bold enough to actually say something that you don't really like, or even if you should always be bold and confident to actually stand up and say this is this, this is that. You don't have to. I've met a lot of different people, and they like to be in the background and complain. That's not me. I'm not used to that because of maybe like my family whatever background or whatever. But do you think that a lot of people are scared to be real like with others because of the backlash? They feel like they're getting because of the backlash, or maybe they're going to be socially ostracized, or maybe they're going to lose friends.
Definitely. There's so many things that being real comes with, and I think for people that care enough, they rather just be like, it's not my business anyway, so let me just keep it moving. But for people like me, I couldn't give a fuck. Like me, I'm just like I'm just like if I'm in a space, I want everyone in that space to be excellent. Like that's the kind of person like I wanna be. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room ever.
If you are the smartest person in the room,
then it means the whole room is dumb.
Is rubbish. Yeah.
So I rather fine and good. I can come into that room, be the smartest person, and by next week I'm the dumbest person in the room. Yeah, that's what I like. There's
something to learn from other person.
It's something like because I thrive off of healthy competition. Like, someone pushing me, and like I had a friend here at uni who. Very great friend, we're still friends, and we went through uni most of our lives, and we always had this healthy competition thing going on. We never spoke about it ever, but it was a thing. Like everyone else spoke about it, like you guys have this healthy competition thing, and it's just she made me better, I made her better, and I just think that a lot of people care too much is the problem. A lot of people care too much, and a lot of people as well
care too much about what?
About how they appear, or a lot of people care about being liked, because being liked comes with certain perks. And sometimes
that's true. Like when people like you, they make your life easy.
Yeah, it makes your life easy. So it's not like. But then again, there's a very thin line between being a real person, but then holding back because of
what people might say.
Easily turn you into a fake person.
Yeah.
From someone else's perspective. Right? Yeah. From my perspective, I think that everyone should say things as it is. Now, I think it's very important to understand and be intentional about how you say the things. Make sure that the person you're speaking to feels like you're sort of like trying to give them a benefit as opposed to trying to make them feel like they feel less of make them or be condescending with them. So for me, as long as you do that, if the person likes it, the person should go and tell people in the village that you're a serial killer. You're not a serial killer, so you just keep it moving.
Yeah, but deep down they actually know the truth.
Deep down they know the truth, and deep down they appreciate you for that. They might never say it out loud. They might never to all their friends. They might tell their friends that you're crap, but
deep down.
If it came down to it, and they asked one of them to say you and another person that they knew that was fake was dying, they said save one person, they'll most likely save you.
Interesting.
I think I might be wrong, but I feel like they'll most likely save you.
Interesting.
But hey, this is the world that we live in again. It's a fake world, so.
It is a fake world, and I know I used to complain a lot about the fakeness, but now it's something I've come to accept. But if you find who appreciate the realness, that's fine. If you don't, that's okay.
Yeah. You just keep it moving.
Yeah. Because just like you said, they may respect you. Like you have a point actually, because I remember back in Nigeria when I did my uni. I've always been this way. I will be real with you. If instead of me dying inside,
just tell you.
The emotions.
Loneliness comes with peace.
Yeah, and exactly.
You walk into a room and you know that you have peace of mind.
Yeah, exactly. And the moment I tell you that thing, it's out. If you like, start acting up. That's your problem. I don't care. But the thing is, it's out of my system. Now I don't have to worry too much or like start thinking about it over and over again. And then something happened. So the person I was real with, she ended up like started acting up and to cut you off and all. But I was surprised. During our final year, she was doing something and she called me and told me, "You are the only person who I know is going to tell me the truth." What is it? I was shocked because the person cut me off. Like, you know how somebody will cut you off.
Yeah.
But finally, she still called me and said, "No, you are the only person that will be real with me. What do you think? Do you think I fucked up here? Do you think I did this?" I was surprised because if you cut me off and you still have your friends, why can't you ask your friends?
I mean, hey, again, remember, there's different reasons people have friends. Maybe those friends are just for social validation. But come on, it's a lot hard. Especially, we haven't even gone into I don't know how we're doing for time, but we haven't even gone into how social media has played a major role
in this
with this fake
rubbish,
fake nonsense. It's insane. Sometimes I'm, and a while back I used to look at a lot of people on social media and I'm like, oh man, yo, why can't I just be chilling like this person?
But don't ever do that.
And let me tell you, this was I'm young, but I was way younger.
Yeah.
And I got to a point in my life where I met each and every one of these people that I thought, oh yeah, people that a lot of people look up to. And we had real conversations.
They're just human beings.
And they were telling me stuff, and one of them even said to me, "Man, wish I could just be like you." I'm like, what?
Exactly.
I was like, no way. And it goes to show that, listen, in this life, just do you.
Do you.
And as long as you do you, no one can do you better than you. So just do you.
This quote I say I quote all the time. It sounds as if like my attitude, I don't give a fuck attitude, but it's the truth. Nobody's life is that awesome for you to be so worried and to be begging them to be part of it. Nobody's life is that awesome. Honestly.
Maybe Beyonce though.
Even though she's rich and all, she still has her own problems. No, it's the truth.
Yeah,
Nobody's life is that awesome for you to be worried and like so crazy about. If I don't be like this person, I'm going to die. Or I want to be. No. Once you step into the person's shoes, you realize they have a lot of problems.
Everyone has their own.
Exactly. So why do you have to be so bent on? Okay, you know what? No, I like this person. I want to be like this person. Okay, for example, look at Will Smith and Jada, the wife.
Yeah.
Before lockdown last year and a few years ago, we didn't know so much about their lives compared to now. Now everybody was like, oh, we thought their relationship was this awesome. So it has all these layers, and everybody's trying to see the layers now, and everybody's actually surprised. But that's the thing. You see what I mean?
I mean, you don't really know anyone, to be honest.
Exactly.
I think generally, just to sort of round up, I think we've been talking for over an hour now.
Yeah.
Is this how long you have your guests speaking for?
Sometimes.
Over an hour?
Yeah.
You didn't even give me juice. You didn't even give me water. I've been talking for an hour now. My throat is just.
Yeah, so we've been talking for over an hour now, and I think we can actually round off here.
Yeah, we should, because my throat is on fire. Seeing that you didn't even offer me water or juice. I'm coming to your house, tell you to give me water. You're giving me, what's the time? What's the time? You're giving me alcohol.
I actually gave you vodka and so many things.
You gave me a range of alcohol options at 3 p.m.
And he said you don't want to drink, so
please, I'm not drinking alcohol at the moment.
Okay.
Water is fine, but thank you. Yeah, this was fun. Yeah. So you should have me again.
Yeah, of course.
Have you had anyone more than once?
So far so good. None yet.
So yeah, I should be the first person.
Okay, I'll think about it. So, but like, do you have anything to add?
I mean, all I'm gonna say is for everyone listening, really and truly, don't let anyone tell you who you can or cannot be, or to do what you can or cannot do. and don't let anyone make you be someone that you're not. Like, just do you. Like I always say, no one, like, if you only have one job in this life, and that is to be yourself. If you can't do that, then everything else that you manage to do is not really, I don't know, I think you failed anyway at the primary goal, you know.
Yeah, you should be happy with yourself.
Be happy, have peace of mind, be able to sleep at night, you know.
Yeah.
And once you have that unlocked, life is easy.
I agree.
You know.
Well, on that note, this is where we're gonna round off. And thank you, Steph, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And hopefully we'll have you again.
Hopefully next time there'll be juice or water.
No, next time there will always be alcohol. So you can always drink alcohol.
Fair enough.
All right, everybody. See you soon.
Bye.
Yeah.